Today I'm going to talk to you about teaching through a child or a person's obsessive, passionate interests. This is the way to ensure long-term learning. Be sure to stick around to the end. I'm going to give you a bonus hack to help you make sure that you can keep doing this and not run out of steam. Hi, it's Rupert Isaacson with newtrailslearning.com, movement method. And I want to talk to you today about a seemingly impossible situation, which we realized was actually one of the keys to the whole method. My son Rowan, who we were homeschooling at the time, became obsessed with the river Brazos. The river Brazos is the largest and longest river in Texas. We were living in Texas at the time, and it was about an hour and a half from our door. I don't know why he got so interested and obsessed, where he read about it, what YouTube videos he saw. We did cross that river from time to time on the way to and from certain outings, but it's not as if the other really cool rivers in our area, like the Colorado River, were not more or less the same. I don't know why, but he got obsessed with the Brazos River, and he wanted to go to the Brazos River every day. 3 hours driving every day. Impossible, right? Well, we thought so. But then we thought, well, is it impossible? Like, if we could get together a group of people and share the burden of the driving, could that actually work so that no one person got overwhelmed and burned out? And then, okay, if you had to drive an hour and a half there, could you make that hour and a half really cool learning time? Then, of course, when you get to the river, it's all science, it's all ecosystem, and it's all fun, and it's all movement, which, for those of you who know movement method, you move and problem solve with learning, meaning literally have to clamber over rocks and things. This creates a protein in your brain called BDNF in neuroscience terms, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. That is neuroplasticity, the firing of billions and billions of neurons in your brain. And then, of course, on the drive home, you could make that a whole bunch of learning. Okay, well, what would we do on that drive out? Well, on the drive out, we could learn about the car that we're driving in and how that car works. We could listen to music and listen to music from a bunch of different countries and in a bunch of different languages and learn about those traditions and what are those songs about. And why does this song from the desert people of Mali sing about these things called jinns that live in the desert, and what are jinns? And why does this rock and roll song talk about the blues? What were the blues, and how did the blues and rock and roll evolve from Celtic music with West African music in America's South? And why were these Celts and these West Africans there in the first place? And that's history. And then what are the mathematical structures of this music? And we realized, okay, and then what's outside the window? What's the ecology? What's the history of the land that we're going through? We can vary the route. Okay, then the science and the fun and the play at the river was always a no-brainer. Then on the way back, again, we could have similar modules with music, or we could listen to audiobooks. And we realized that we basically had a full mobile classroom. So the key was a team. Now, many people are in isolation if they're homeschooling. And they might think, well, how can I put together a team? Luckily now there are a lot of homeschooling groups out there, much, much, much more than there were when 20 years ago we were having to work this out with Rowan. And it's really possible to get together with groups of like-minded parents and figure this out. Okay, the second thing is, what about you burning out just because driving to the same place several times a week like this could begin to get on top of you? Well, that's why you got to spread the love. That's why you got to make sure that you do it on a rotation so that one person isn't bearing all the burden of this. Then the teaching within that drive, different people are going to come up with different ways to teach. So for example, the car itself is moving. It's a moving object. So if you're in a moving object and you're actually having to allow for the bends and that sort of thing of the vehicle as you go, that's still BDNF. And some people are going to concentrate on teaching that science. And some people are going to concentrate on teaching more the music side. And some people are going to concentrate on teaching more the history and the ecology of what's outside the window side. So it won't be the same thing every time. And finally, don't worry that you're just going to get so sick of this thing, because what we find with these really passionate interests and obsessions, particularly when the kids are quite young, is they're phases. They usually last about 4 to 12 weeks. And then it's like they've sucked that thing dry and they move on to the next thing. But the important thing is not to fight it, because that's where the kid is. So if you go with it and you figure out the strategies to go with it, then you are going to find success. All right, now I promised you a hack at the end of this. The hack is self-care. Yes, it's tiring. Yes, being a special needs parent is tiring. Yes, being a homeschool parent is tiring. Yes, being any kind of parent is tiring. What are you doing for your self-care? Self-care comes down to your nervous system. What are you doing to reboot your nervous system as often as you possibly can? That's why I'm shooting this video out here in the lovely spring sunshine. It's rebooting my nervous system. But there's a really direct way that we found works incredibly well and is so easy to do and really pleasurable to do. And it's called Yoga Nidra. I don't mean a yoga practice where you have to do funny poses. I mean you lie on your back and you close your eyes and you listen to somebody guiding you through a meditation which is not telling you to do something impossible like clear your mind of thoughts. No, no, no. If your thoughts wander, if you fall asleep, no problem. You close your eyes and the person takes you through a body scan, literally from head to toe and back up. And there are all kinds of different ways you can do this. And what happens is you go into a slightly altered state of consciousness where your brain waves slow down and go into what's called the alpha brainwave state, which is a very slow brainwave state. And this is associated with cellular repair, with opening up the subconscious so that you come out of it usually with some good ideas and inspirations. But most of all, you rest. People often call Yoga Nidra NSDR, non-sleep deep relaxation. Now, we have prepared some of these for you, although there's a bunch of them all over YouTube, but we've done some really specifically for parents in our situation. So click on the Yoga Nidra link below. Make sure you've got a nice yoga mat or lie on your bed. Close your eyes, hit play, and help us to help you reboot your nervous system so you'll be able to get up and be ready for the fray again the next day. If this is helpful, please hit like and subscribe. If you want to dive further into movement method, click on the link in the description below for our free ebook. If you would like to take one of our online courses, head over to newtrailslearning.com. We'll see you there.